Hello and welcome back to the channel where flavor knows no borders. This is Foodaroundme.
Berlin is not just about the wall, techno clubs, or endless German beer. Here, there's a street food legend that almost every Berliner has tasted at least once in their life: Currywurst, German sausage, sliced into chunks, drowned in tomato ketchup mixed with curry powder, and served with crispy fries. It sounds simple, yet that very simplicity has turned Currywurst into the soul food of German fast eats. Its origin goes back to the years after World War II, when a woman named Herta Hewer mixed American ketchup with British curry powder, then poured it over German sausages. A culinary invention born out of Allied forces. And surprisingly, it became an icon of Berlin, symbolizing the fusion of East and West, past and present. For Germans, Currywurst isn't just food, it's memory. Late-night snacks after too many beers, quick lunch breaks for workers, or long tourist lines in freezing Berlin winters. For Americans, it's both familiar and strange. Familiar, because sausages and ketchup are all American. Strange, because that curry twist suddenly brings in the aroma of India. Some joke, Currywurst is like a hot dog that studied abroad and came back speaking half German, half Indian. In Germany, Currywurst doesn't just exist on the streets. It has its own museum in Berlin, a dish so humble, yet elevated into cultural heritage. That's Germany for you, taking sausages very seriously. In Italy, there's a pasta dish that makes many tourists hesitate before taking the first bite: spaghetti al nero di seppia, pasta cooked with squid ink. Golden strands of spaghetti are cloaked in an inky black sauce, shimmering like liquid obsidian. The taste is briny, deeply umami, with a silky touch of olive oil, the Italians not approvingly, calling it the height of elegance. But for many Americans, a jet black plate of pasta often looks like spilled printer ink. They worrying, will my tongue turn black? Will I look like I just ate a bag of Halloween candy? Yet, beyond the shock factor, this dish carries symbolism. In Italy, eating squid ink pasta means embracing beauty in the unusual. Black isn't always sinister. Sometimes it's the color of sophistication. And here's the cultural twist: Americans love their pasta bright red with tomato sauce. Safe, familiar, reassuring. Italians, on the other hand, boldly plunge their spaghetti into deep black ink, almost as if to say, cuisine, too, can be art in opposition. France is home to over 1,200 types of cheese. But among them, the most famous, or rather, infamous, are the so-called Fromage QUIPU, literally, stinky cheese. Its smell, some say it's like socks worn 3 days straight, others swear it's closer to a garbage dump on a hot afternoon. Yet, for cheese lovers, that strong odor signals depth, richness, and perfect ripeness. Varieties, like Epoisses, Munster, or Roquefort are prized precisely for being stinky. The French pair it with bread and wine, treating it as a work of art, but Americans, one whiff and they're out the door. For them, strong cheese means spoiled, rotten, or simply inedible, something to toss in the trash, not savor at the table. What's fascinating is that this cheese is alive, crafted by active bacteria. It's microbiology on a plate, both science and heritage. But if you're not used to it, it feels less like fine dining and more like being gassed in your own kitchen. The French call it a delicacy, Americans just want to call hazardous waste control. If you think grilled meat on a stick is just street food, congratulations, you've just insulted an entire civilization. To the Greeks, Souvlaki was never just barbecue. It was the breath of the gods. Zeus craved the smoke, Aphrodite desired the flesh, and Dionysus, he poured the wine. Naturally. Since the time of Homer, the Greeks skewered meat not just for eating, but as offerings. Smoke went to Zeus, meat went to men, barbecue as divine diplomacy. Myth says, Heracles, the gluttonous strong man, could devour dozens of skewers. And when Paris stole Helen, it was over grilled meat feasts that Greek kings plotted the Trojan War, who knew a skewer could spark a decade-long war. What makes souvlaki stand apart from American fast food is the finesse hidden in its flavors. The meat, whether pork, chicken, or lamb, is marinated in extra virgin olive oil, lemon, garlic, oregano. These are not just seasonings, they're symbols. Olive represents Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Lemon and herbs capture the Mediterranean climate, harsh sun, yet fertile earth. Scientifically, grilling meat triggers the Maillard reaction, producing compounds that make the brain flood with dopamine. It's not just a meal, it's a neurological fireworks show, and red meat links to testosterone. From ancient Greece to today, skewered meat means masculinity, brotherhood, power feasts. A souvlaki is never just lunch, it's a hormone ritual. A souvlaki skewer usually comes with soft pita, tomatoes, onions, and tzatziki sauce made from Greek yogurt and cucumber. The texture is rich yet refreshing, smoky yet cooling. One bite, and you instantly taste the culinary DNA of Greece, passionate, generous, but never crude. In ancient Athens, skewers were not democratic. Who got the best cuts, who got more skewers, all reflected social hierarchy. A skewer was a political vote. Aristotle himself wrote, "He who controls the fire, controls the men." Even today, from Greek feasts to Washington barbecues, grilled meat is where men negotiate power, brotherhood, elections, empires. Interestingly, souvlaki was once considered street food, a working-class snack sold on the corners of Athens. Yet paradoxically, it became a cultural pillar. Americans have hot dogs, but no one bites a hot dog and feels the soul of Washington or Lincoln. Souvlaki, on the other hand, makes every traveler feel like they're chewing a fragment of ancient mythology itself. Today, Americans see souvlaki and think, "Oh, it's like a kebab, fast food on a stick." Greeks would answer, "Don't you dare insult Zeus." Because every skewer carries history, divine worship, male hormones, Aphrodite's desire, political power. It's not fast food, it's grilled destiny. In the end, remember, souvlaki is more than grilled meat. It's the mirror of a civilization, gods, hormones, desire, power. And if you dare call it Greek fast food, Zeus might just hurl a lightning bolt onto your picnic table. For Greeks, souvlaki is divine breath. For Americans, it's just meat on a stick with BBQ sauce. Masala Dosa, a golden crispy crepe from India, yet inside it carries a story of culture, religion, and human creativity. At first glance, it looks like a giant crepe, almost the length of your arm, thin as paper and perfectly crisp. But the magic is hidden inside. Mashed potatoes cooked with turmeric, onions, green chilies, ginger, and a mix of aromatic spices, creating a filling that is spicy, creamy, and bursting with flavor. Masala dosa is more than a breakfast dish, it is a symbol of India's vegetarian cuisine. In a country where many Hindus avoid meat, dosa became the ideal answer, filling, nutritious, and spiritually pure. What is fascinating is that although it originated in South India, masala dosa has conquered the world. From small street stalls in Bangalore to fine dining restaurants in New York, people love the experience of tearing the crisp dosa, dipping it into hot sambar or cool coconut chutney. Masala dosa proves one thing, a humble dish made with simple ingredients. Paella, the legendary rice dish of Spain, but do not think it is just colorful seafood rice. In fact, paella is a cultural symphony. Its roots go back to Valencia, where farmers once cooked local rice, green beans, tomatoes, and sometimes rabbit or chicken for a shared meal. Later, with seafood from the Mediterranean, the dish evolved into an outdoor feast, glowing with golden saffron and rich ocean flavors. What makes paella unique is not only the ingredients, but also the way it is eaten. People gather around one big pan, sharing spoonfuls of steaming rice. It feels like a ritual of togetherness, eating, talking, laughing. And as Spaniards often say, there is no right or wrong paella, only the version you share with the people you love. In other words, paella is not just food, it is a bridge between people, from the villages of Valencia to the squares of Madrid. and to tables all over the world. Singapore chicken rice. It sounds simple, but this dish is powerful enough to be called a national treasure of the Lion City. Do not mistake it for just rice and boiled chicken, because every detail here is an art. First, the rice. It is not cooked with plain water. The grains are lightly fried with garlic, ginger, and chicken fat, then simmered in rich chicken stock. That is why every bite is glossy, aromatic, and filled with flavor. Next, the chicken. Fresh chicken is poached gently, then immediately dipped in ice water to lock in the smooth golden skin and tender juicy meat. One bite, and you will understand the elegance that sets it apart from ordinary chicken dishes. And finally, the sauces are the soul. A dark soy sauce, a bowl of minced ginger, and the iconic fiery red chili sauce. Together, they transform the dish from simply tasty to truly unforgettable. But Singapore chicken rice is not only about food, it carries history and identity. It came from Chinese Hainanese migrants, yet was localized into a unique Singaporean version. It even became a tool of soft diplomacy, when Singapore's Prime Minister once served it to world leaders. So, do not be surprised if this humble dish is treated as national pride. Because Singapore chicken rice feeds more than the stomach, it tells a story of culture. Poutine, the iconic street food of Canada, but it all started as an accident in a small diner in Quebec. Crispy golden fries, topped with hot brown gravy, and fresh squeaky cheese curds melting into the mix. This delicious chaos made Canadians fall in love, turning poutine into a national symbol. Rich, comforting, addictive, poutine is proof that sometimes the best dishes begin with pure improvisation. Taco, the most famous street food of Mexico, but it is far more than just a small folded tortilla. Taco is truly a language through which Mexicans tell stories of culture, history, and everyday joy. A thin tortilla, made of corn or wheat flour, grilled hot on a pan. Inside you might find grilled beef, marinated pork, crispy fish, or even vegetarian fillings with beans and vegetables. Topped with fresh onions, cilantro, and a squeeze of lime, the flavors explode from the very first bite. It is a living cultural heritage, recognized by UNESCO as part of Mexico's traditional cuisine. From the bustling streets of Mexico City to elegant restaurants, taco is a symbol of connection between past and present, between people and their homeland. Taco is Mexico's way of telling the world, we love life, we love spices, and we love to share. Chicken parm, or Parma as Australians call it, is not just food, it is part of pub culture in the land down under. At first glance, it looks like pizza and schnitzel combined. A chicken breast is breaded, fried until golden, then topped with tomato sauce.
Do you think taco is just another fast food sandwich? Wrong. In Mexico, taco is a whole culture of portable dining. A small corn tortilla, grilled to perfection, hugging roasted meat, fresh herbs, and spicy salsa, it captures the soul of the streets. But the magic of taco is not only in the taste. It is a symbol of social equality. From workers grabbing breakfast to partygoers at midnight, everyone has a taco. No fancy tables, no rituals, just stand by the roadside, take a bite, and Mexico bursts in your mouth. Taco was once looked down upon, considered food for the poor. But today, from humble street stalls, it has risen to Michelin-starred kitchens, becoming a source of national pride. Hit that subscribe button and join our global food journey. Did you know that in Singapore, there is a dish powerful enough to attract both tourists and politicians alike? It is chili crab, a giant fresh crab, drenched in bright red sauce that is spicy, sweet, salty, and tangy all at once. But chili crab is not just food, it is a national icon, appearing on every must-try list for Singapore. They say chili crab reflects the spirit of Singapore, multicultural, bold, and explosive. The chili heat comes from Malay influence, tomato sauce from the West, garlic and ginger from Chinese kitchens. All these flavors mix together, just like the nation itself, a blend of cultures forming one unique identity. Yet eating chili crab is not as fancy as it looks. In fact, it is incredibly messy. You need to use your hands, crack open claws, suck out tender meat, while the sauce drips everywhere. But that is the soul of it, communal joy, happy chaos, where families and friends break formal barriers, laugh together, and share the feast. Chili crab is actually not ancient at all. It was created in the 1950s by a street food vendor who experimented by adding chili and tomato to crab. From a humble roadside stall, it has climbed to become a culinary treasure, drawing food lovers from all over the world to Singapore. When Americans try chili crab for the first time, they stare at the fiery red crab, one hand cracking, the other wiping napkins, sauce all over their mouths. And after 5 minutes, the table looks like a chili battlefield. But instead of complaining, they burst out laughing and say, "This is the best messy meal of my life." Beef noodle soup, or pho, is not just a dish but the soul of Vietnamese cuisine. In the early morning of Hanoi or at noon in Saigon, the aroma of steaming broth makes your stomach growl. A perfect bowl has clear broth simmered for hours with beef bones filled with the fragrance of cinnamon, star anise, and roasted ginger. Thin slices of rare beef, brisket, or flank rest gently on soft white rice noodles covered with hot broth, topped with spring onions and fresh herbs. Add a squeeze of lime and a few slices of chili, and suddenly every sense comes alive. What makes pho fascinating is that it is more than food, it is a symbol of cultural fusion. The noodles reflect Chinese influence, while spices like cinnamon and star anise arrived with the French. Together, they form a unique symphony that can only be found in Vietnam. Have you ever tried beef noodle soup? Share your experience in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe to join me in exploring more amazing food stories around the world. Wagyu, the name alone makes food lovers around the world excited. In Japan, Wagyu is not only beef, it is a philosophy of care and perfection. Wagyu cattle are raised in calm environments, with special diets and even music to keep them relaxed. What makes Wagyu unique is the fine marbling of fat that looks like delicate art. When grilled, the fat melts into the meat, giving sweetness, richness, and tenderness that almost dissolves on the tongue. No other beef in the world can create such an experience. But Wagyu is more than luxury food. It is a cultural symbol. Japanese people see Wagyu as proof of omotenashi, the spirit of hospitality and attention to detail. When you taste Wagyu, you are not just eating beef, you are tasting Japanese spirit, tradition, patience, and artistry. American beef is strong, big, and full of cowboy energy. Japanese Wagyu is soft, sweet, and melts like butter. One is power, the other is art. Would you pick a muscular steak or a disappearing steak? Montreal smoked meat may look like just a sandwich, but it carries history and identity of Canada. Brought by the Jewish community in the late 19th century, this smoked beef became a proud symbol of Montreal. Beef is seasoned with bold spices, especially black pepper, then smoked for hours until tender. Juicy pink slices are placed between rye bread with a touch of yellow mustard. It is simple yet powerful enough to make diners pause for a few seconds just to savor. The charm of Montreal smoked meat is not only in taste. It is a witness of cultural exchange between Europe and North America, between tradition and modern life. Lasagna, the very name makes people imagine a steaming tray with stretchy cheese and rich red sauce. But lasagna is not just food, it is a journey of Italian culinary history spanning centuries and traveling across the world. The origin of lasagna is debated. Some sources point to ancient Rome, where people ate flat sheets of lognon. Later, the Emilia-Romagna region became the cradle of modern lasagna, with fresh pasta, beef ragu, bechamel sauce, and Parmigiano Reggiano. It is not only a recipe, but also an Italian standard, balancing richness, acidity, softness, and depth. What makes lasagna special is its communal spirit. It is a dish often served at family gatherings and festivals where generations sit together. When the tray is placed on the table, it is more than a meal, it is a moment of sharing and belonging. Today, there are countless variations of lasagna. Vegetarian versions with vegetables, seafood lasagna from southern Italy, or even Mexican style with chili and cheddar cheese. Each version reflects creativity and adaptation to local culture. Lasagna has also become a global icon. In the United States, it was Hollywoodized, appearing in films and cartoons like Garfield, making the world fall in love with it even more. Yet wherever it goes, lasagna keeps its essence: layers of pasta, meat, sauce, cheese, and the melting feeling in the first bite. Perhaps the charm of lasagna is that it is both luxurious and simple. Luxurious because of carefully selected ingredients and meticulous steps. Yet simple because in the end it is still about a shared meal where people eat, laugh, and tell stories together. What do you think about lasagna, a small tray that holds history, culture, and family spirit of Italy? Some people love the traditional beef ragu version, while others prefer seafood or vegetarian twists. And you, which team are you? Team extra cheese or team extra pasta layers? Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments, because every perspective is interesting and may inspire the next story on this channel. Who knows, your idea might shape the next video. If you enjoy discovering food through culture, from familiar dishes to shocking surprises, do not forget to subscribe. One small click means you will never miss a new video.